Sleeping Freshmen Never Lie, Chapter 9, page 69. Greetings, sports fans. This is Scott Hudson reporting live from the morning bus ride. Even at this early hour, I see a variety of events taking place. A hearty game of Smack the Sheldon was. I could just imagine judges holding up scorecards after each round. In the back, kids were aisle surfing, trying to stand and keep their and yelled at them to sit. Out the window, on the roads all around us, there was a demolition derby going on. Kyle and Patrick were chucking a football in the parking lot when we got to school. "I'm open!" Patrick tossed me the ball. I jogged toward them and flipped a lateral to Kyle. "Looks like I'm going to the game tomorrow," I said. "Change your mind?" Patrick asked. "No choice. Get out of here." "Really, I am." "You serious?" "Yup," Patrick grinned. "Pretty cool. Hey, maybe it was cool. I hadn't said it out loud until now, but I sort of like the sound of it. I'm covering for the paper. Scott Hudson, sports reporter. Boink! The ball bounced off my head. "Nice catch, Kyle," Kyle said. I picked up the ball, faked high, and nailed him in the gut. Not as satisfying as a headshot, but it would do. The bell rang, robbing Kyle of an opportunity to retaliate. The rest of the day passed without any major triumphs or disasters, though Spanish. We'd been repeating sentences for 2 whole weeks. Today, Mrs. de Gaulle passed out textbooks. They were all in Spanish. Nothing inside resembled anything we'd been doing. I glanced around the room. It was obvious that everyone else was just as lost. In his room, playing his guitar. "Guess what? I'm on the school paper." "Why'd you want to do that?" "No way. You should see the editor. She's hot." "What's her name?" "Mandy." "Oh, yeah." Bobby nodded. "I remember her. She wears these killer tops. I think we went out once, the year before last. She's on the paper?" "Yup." He patted me on the shoulder. "Way to go, little brother. You can take up where I left off." Before I could even think of a response, I heard a big-time rumbling sound from outside and felt the floor vibrate. Bobby's eyes opened wide. "Corvette?" he said. No way. I refused to believe that anyone could identify a car just from the sound. Not even Bobby, who had a great ear. 63, he added. "Not a chance." "Bet you $5. Huron." We raced to his Corvette was blowing oily smoke out the tailpipe as it crawled along the driveway. "I wonder whose it is," I said. "Let's find out." Bobby and I ran downstairs. The car wasn't in the driveway. It was in the garage. "Traded the Taurus," Dad said, when Mom, Bobby, and I joined him. "Got a deal on it. With a bit of work, she'll be a gem." I can't say for sure, but I think he looked at the Corvette the same way I looked at Julia. The main difference being Julia wasn't going to come live in our garage or make the walls vibrate. "Sweet," Bobby said. 63? Dad nodded. I sighed and dug out my wallet. Mom snorted, shook her head, and walked back inside. Without saying a word, Dad and Bobby popped the hood and started discussing what to do first. Terms like compression, camshaft, and valve covers drifted through the air. "Want to help?" Dad asked. "Maybe later. I have homework." It was a really cool car on the outside, but once the hood was lifted, I was lost. Looking at the engine was like looking at a page of Spanish. Back inside, Mom was muttering something about men and their stupid toys. "If he goes near my Subaru, I'll shoot him," she said. I glanced toward the garage. "Are you sure you're not adopted?" Mom smiled and put a hand on my shoulder. "Hun, I was there when you were born." Maybe I got switched. She shook her head. Your Aunt Jill followed you all the way down to the nursery to make sure nobody made any mistakes. She put both her hands on my shoulders and stared at my face for a moment. You got your dad's eyes and my dad's chin. There's no escaping it. You're a Hudson. But I'm so bad with tools. That's not what makes you who you are. You, Bobby, and your dad, as different as you are, you've got good hearts. That's what matters. I brought my homework to the kitchen, pulled up a stool by the counter, and hung out with Mom while she made a pie crust. I didn't know if I had a good heart, but by the time she was done, I definitely had a good and hearty appetite. I'm going to the football game, I told the folks right after dinner. Have fun, Mom said. Wear a scarf, it's chilly. Want a ride? Dad asked, giving me a little head shake that erased the scarf command. I think the vet can make it that far. That would be cool, thanks, but Patrick's picking me up. After Patrick's dad dropped us off, we met Kyle in the bleachers. I checked to see who else was there. No sign of Wesley Cobble, which meant I'd probably make it to halftime with the snack money I'd brought. As the teams lined up for the kickoff, I pulled out a notebook and got ready to describe the highlights. Within behind by 2 touchdowns. At the end of the first quarter, the other team brought in their second-string players. By the end of the half, we were behind 31-0. We weren't that bad last year, were we? I asked Patrick. He shook his head. All the good players graduated. This is pretty sad. Let's get out of here, Kyle said. I can't. Maybe you can't, he said, but we can. You mind if we split? Patrick asked. Go ahead, I told him. I don't blame you. I wouldn't stay if I didn't have to. He called his dad. Then he and Kyle took off, which sucked. I'd have stayed if they'd been stuck here. The second half was just as painful as the first. When the game ended, I walked home. It was about 2.5 miles, but it was a nice break after sitting there for so long. And it was a nice way to delay getting to work. I guess I was supposed to write some sort of rah-rah article. What could I say? Only one thing came to mind. I wrote it down when I got home, but I knew I had to keep it to myself. If anyone from the team saw it, I'd get my butt whooped big time. 6 ways our team could score a touchdown by Scott Hudson, clueless sports reporter. Number 1. Wait until the game is over and the other team has left the field. Number 2. Parents to drive the quarterback to the goal line. Number 3. Let the other team score so many points they feel sorry for us. This appears to be our actual strategy, but we haven't found the right number yet. It's higher than 63. Number 4. Hide a catapult behind the offensive line. Number 5. Change the rules so you can score points every time you get knocked back 10 yards or throw the ball away. Number 6. Buy the points on eBay. Block that kick. Block that kick. Block that writer. So this was writer's block. I was completely stuck. Not a clue what to say. Nobody would want to read about the other team. But if I only listed our achievements, the article would be shorter than the headline. I spent a long time staring at the blank screen on our computer, wishing I'd never written that list of Tom Swifties. I have no idea what to write, Scott said thoughtlessly. I typed a title, deleted it, typed another title, then deleted that. I can't possibly write a football article, Scott said unsportingly. That's when it hit me. The first sentence jumped into my mind, and from my mind to my fingers. They keep gaining yards, we said defensively. The next sentence was even easier. The first quarter is over and we haven't scored, the crowd yelled pointlessly. Once I started, it just sort of rolled out. Throw the ball, the coach shouted passively. We need to keep the ball on the ground, the fullback said dashingly. I kept it up for the whole article and managed to fit in all the details from the game. It came out pretty good.